Hello, my name is Cyrus Gutt, and the research I did was on African penguins. What interests me in these animals is when I was a kid, I watched Happy Feet, and ever since then, I was interested in learning more about penguins in general. Recently, I learned of African penguins and their existence, so I decided I would do a paper on it. So this is the first appearances and sightings of them throughout in the history. So the fossil record has them about 4,000 years ago to 2,700 years ago, which is pretty early considering other species. Europeans first encountered these birds exploring. Vasco da Gama is the captain that was sailing the boat, and they were really interested to find birds that couldn't fly, and they were just kind of squawking around on the shores. And it's also inferred that this Africa is the last continent for penguins to even settle in, and the relationship for that is the currents being formed in the Antarctic and South Atlantic seas. By the IUCN, they have them as endangered, and their population for adults is about 50,000. The total population is about 80,000, and it's continuing to drop to this day. There's only 28 breeding locations. 25 of those are islands, and the other three is Angola, Mozambique, and Nabania, which is their total range. To adapt to the heat that they have to deal with in Africa, they adapted a gland above their eyes, and when it gets too hot for them, blood will actually rush up to that gland, and it will keep circulating and keeping them cooled off. So this is some of the taxonomy. Their domain is eukaryote, and they're in the animal kingdom, of course. Their phylum is the Chordata, which means they have a nervous system that connects their brain to their vital organs. They have a cartilage rod supporting that nervous system, but it's not a vertebrae specifically. And they have some form of gills that lets them go underwater and breathe. Their class is called aves, which it's mostly defined as feathered and warm-blooded animals that have 2 feet. But it's not just limited to that. There's some scaly animals that also go under aves. And then the genus and species, I'll try to butcher their name, but it's Syniphycus demericis. I don't know. Dr. K will help me with that one, I guess. So there's many reasons for their low population. There's 2 oil spills in 1994 and 2000. It killed, in total, both killed about 30,000. And ever since then, the impact actually lowered the breeding rates overall for the penguins. Also, they are trying to build shipment centers for cargo ships around these breeding sites. So it's kind of interfering with that. Earlier, they used to actually collect eggs and guano, which guano is they were using it for fertilizer, but they were using it the penguins were using it to hide their eggs from predators. So they won't get hot. Both of these actions are now banned, but egg collection is still going on. It's still been reported. The overfished seas that they're trying to get food from is also in competition with ocean seals, which have recently been stopped hunting. So they're having more competition between those 3: humans, penguins, and seals. And then the climate change is also to blame. It's moving their fish away from the shore so close. So they have to go farther. And some breeding sites actually have been having more chicks survive and go on. So it's the limited food is also creating an issue with that as well. And like I said, it has them endangered right in the middle. This is some fun facts and interesting info I found about them. They actually got the nickname of jackass penguin for the donkey-like bray they make, but other animals out in that region make the same similar sounds. Before humans, there's some evidence that shows that there's actually a diversity of African penguins, not just the ones we see today, and they had sizes ranging from king penguins to little blue penguins, and some in between. This is one of the only penguin species that's actually been near humans for about the same for about 400,000 years is what the estimation is for that. The oldest known fossils of penguins in general in Africa is from the Paleogene area of New Zealand, so it's pretty old. African penguin mates are lifelong, and they always meet in the same breeding site each year, and they always lay 2 eggs, and they take several months for that chick to go out and then become an adolescent and then go do its own thing. In 1990, the population for African penguins was more than 1.5 million, so that's a huge difference between the current 50,000 adults and 80,000 total we have today. And time for the biggest statistic that I thought shocked me. It shook me right out of my feet. It's estimated, biologists estimate that since the 1930s, the population for African penguins has decreased by 90%. And considering that in 1990 there was 1.5 million, you can do that math yourself and figure out how many have just disappeared completely. And yeah, that's my entire presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed that.